Okay, today I will be doing a video about this book right here. This book came with a game called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, which I bought for the PC back in the early 1990s. As you can see, this book is based on, it came with the game, so it came with the Carmen Sandiego Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego game. So this is kind of like a catalog from Brotherbound for their games. So back in the day, games used to come with a lot of books and manuals and reference cards and stuff like that, and stuff like this. And this basically kind of like a historical chronology of events that had happened in North America from, this is 986 to today. So today isn't today like 2019. Today is probably, in relation to this book, it's probably 1990 something. That is a definition of today. So today is 1990 basically in relation to this book. So it says 986 to today. Today is 1990. Okay, so what happened when? This is a chronology book of events and things that happened in America. So it outlines everything, kind of like a historical reference you can use, you know. Let's go back to the very beginning and see what it says. It starts right here, 986 to 1599. It says the first Europeans to see North America continent were Norsemen, led by the navigator, don't know how to say that, Bjarni Harjalfsson, who in 986, while seeking Eric the Red's settlement on the coast of Greenland, was blown off course and sighted on unidentified landmass. In 1000, Leif Erikson, a son of the Eric the Red, explored the coast of North America and established a settlement he called Vinland. Okay, so this kind of like starts with the Vikings discovering America in 986, and it goes on all the way to the Reagan era, as you can see there. So yes, Reagan was president from 1980 to 1988, and I think Bush became president from 1988 to 1992. Then Clinton became president. Okay, so Clinton isn't in here, obviously. So it says this book was copyrighted in 1991. So, and it came with Carmen Sandiego. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? So this book. So a lot of games back in the day used to come with these elaborate manuals and reference material like this, and this is something that we don't see today in the computer gaming industry. When you buy a game, you probably buy it on a platform like Steam or Uplay by UBI and other platforms. We have a myriad of massively multi-playing game platforms like War Thunder and stuff like that. And they don't give out any reference materials like this. You know, you just download the game through your internet, and then you just play it. And they probably have a help forum where you could learn how to play the game. But yeah, this was at a time when the computer gaming industry wasn't really big or anything like that. It was quite small. They had very limited budgets, and the technology was quite limited back then, you know. So they kind of like made up for it by offering us these elaborate reference material like this, books and manuals. So in a lot of cases, this is not the manual for the game. This is just something you could use. It's like educational material of facts and stuff, historical facts. And a lot of times back in the 80s and 90s, you needed the manual to play the game, because not only did it have the copy protection, the games had a lot of controls in it. So if you didn't know the controls, then obviously you couldn't play the game. And there were also maps in the game which you needed in order to play the game. So that's how games were like back in the 80s and 90s, you know. So basically this is kind of like we see a big change from this era to today, where you don't physically buy games, you know. It's all bought through platforms on the internet, right? You could buy just about any game on Steam, right? So I haven't really bought a physical game in, I think, since 2010, I think. I didn't buy a physical game. Most of the games that I bought were basically from online platforms like Steam and stuff like that, Uplay. So yeah, and a lot of the games now are kind of like clones of previous games. They're either like first-person shooters, third-person type of games, which probably have the identical type of controls, you know. So you don't really need a user manual or anything to play those games. But you can see how things have changed over time. You know, they had manuals for games up until around 2009 or 2010. But as time went by, the manuals and the materials that were offered by game developers or game publishing companies became less and less and less, basically. So you had the beginning of the computer gaming industry, how they offered so much like this and stuff like this, and now they hardly offer anything. So that's what the point of this video is about. Okay, thank you for watching by Ace 1000 KS 1975.